Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Gibby, and welcome to another episode of Porch Swing People.
Each week we bring on a guest to talk with them about whatever they want to share with us. So, Gibby, why don't you tell us a little bit about our guest today?
I known this particular guest all of her life. She's my little sister, Brenda. I could go on about all kinds of stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just say, let's bring her on.
Okay, let's bring on Brenda. Hello!
Hey guys.
Hey, sis.
I'm sitting there giggling because I can imagine all the things that you would have to say, and I've got visuals in my head from my early teen years where I probably annoyed you a bit much.
No.
Yeah, no, you didn't annoy me.
hmm
I'm,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear some of your stories.
Me
All right.
too.
Well, let's have some fun.
Yeah,
All
Brenda,
right.
thanks for joining us today. Why don't you start by telling us a little about yourself?
Okay. Well, I teach first grade. I've been teaching first grade for 14 years. This is my 14th year.
Wow.
I will always teach first grade because I love teaching kids to read. And they're still in that sweet spot where they're just loving, they love you, they haven't gotten those attitudes yet, and they just want to please you. So first grade's fun. I've got some stories about them later on in the podcast. I have been married to my husband for almost 34 years. I have two
Wow.
awesome
It's
kids.
amazing.
They are adults, so we are in that empty nesting phase of life and enjoying it a lot. And on the side, I do a lot. My husband and I are extremely active. We do a lot of outdoor activities like pickleball. We might talk about that later. We play a lot of golf. I teach spinning at the local gym. So we spend a lot of time being active with our
Yeah,
friends and with each other.
that's awesome. Wow. I had the privilege of helping Brenda set up her classroom before your first year, right?
Yes, yeah. Remember, we did some setting up, and that wall that I showed you just a little bit ago with the bus,
Yeah.
that's the wall that you helped me hang the fabric on.
And it's the same fabric.
It's the same fabric. Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
amazing.
When I set up my classroom, I wanted to set it up for the entire time I was in this room. I didn't want to keep changing it out, so I picked colors that I loved, and I designed my room to be something that I loved walking into every day, and I still love it. So, but yes, you did, and then we went to the pool. Yeah,
Yes, we
yeah, we
did.
did.
Wait,
Yeah,
was your theme back then owls?
that's a great story. Yes, so I host a lot of student teachers. I love that. Like that's something I love doing. I've had 9 or 10 student teachers over the course of my 14
Wow.
years here. And one of the things that I always say to them when you set up your classroom, don't do a theme because at Christmas and in Teacher Appreciation Week, you're going to get a lot of stuffed animals of that theme or
Yes.
lots of gifts. And I had these, I found border and it had the owl eyes were so cute. These little owls. And so the border was owls. I had a calendar that was owls. And at Christmas, I got all these stuffed owls. I got plaques. I mean, it was just like, I don't collect owls. I just thought they were cute. And so
Right.
after a couple of years, I took them down.
Yeah, I have teachers that I used to work with, same type of thing. Pineapples, cacti is really popular. And then of course
Yeah.
when you go out and at the stores, that's all you see is like, oh, my teacher who likes alpacas, she would love this mug with an alpaca on it.
This mug. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So I'm curious about this because you talked about teaching, being active, teaching at the local gym. Tell us about a random or hidden talent that you have.
Well, I would say that probably when I was thinking about like talents, I guess I would just think that like one of my talents, I wouldn't say that it's hidden, is teaching kids to read. That is something that I'm very proud of because after all of these years, I know that I've helped set, these kids up. I've set their stage for their whole career of learning. I would say that another talent of mine is I like to make people laugh. I like to make people smile. And it's not hard to do that. It is not hard to smile at people. I have people say things to me all the time like, wow, your smile just made my day. Or, and then of course they get a
Aw.
hug because I'm a hugger. I constantly am out there hugging random strangers. I kind of have a reputation at pickleball. Have you gotten on that? Have you gotten onto pickleball yet, Lex?
No, but I every time I see pickleball players, I hear your voice saying that I need to do it.
Okay, well, so Randy, we had Randy play with us back in
Yeah.
our
Oh,
hometown
really?
once, and he looked at me and he goes, "I really don't want to love this game."
I
Is that
it's
true?
yes, it's one of those things.
Really?
It'll hook you. Yeah.
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 Well, so anyway, when I first started playing, James and I went, we were taught by Sydney and Justin when they were in college, they learned, and then so they taught us, and it was addictive, like right off the bat. And we started playing at the local community center, which would be like a YMCA in a lot of
Yeah.
communities. It's just not called that. And you walk in and you're playing with 70 and 80-year-olds
Yeah.
who are good, and
Yeah.
they put you through it, right? And all these old men, they're so cute. And they would, when I, after going there maybe 6 months to 8 months, they would see me come in and then they will just line up for their hugs. I mean, I am not
hugger.
even kidding. And James is just like, he's always
Wow.
shaking his head at me, and he just knows, like, I'm the hugger. It's just, maybe that's my hidden talent. I just like to make old men feel good. I don't know.
Oh, that is so funny. But what a thing to be known for is
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
positivity.
Let
Yeah.
me just say they probably are also known for they take competition to another level. And yeah, I mean, we're going to win.
Yeah.
And if somebody dies, okay, that's too bad.
It's
for
okay.
them. We're going to win.
I mean,
Okay.
I remember playing Uno and with Brenda, and it's like the most intense experience you could go through.
A card game, Uno.
Well, hang on a second. That wasn't Uno. That game was actually called Killer Uno. So, in my defense,
There you go.
that's a different game
It's pretty killer.
altogether.
Yeah, that's true.
But Lex, pickleball originated in the state that you live in.
Yes.
Okay, so the next time James and I come out, we typically travel with our paddles.
Of
So
course. Well, it's pretty easy
we
to
will
do.
we will be playing.
Well, I think that might be what I need. I mean, because you just said that Sydney and Justin taught you. I don't really have anybody to teach me, and it's kind of hard to put yourself in a position of being a learner of something that you have no knowledge about. I mean, and I mean, I do that in some things. Like I took up Tai Chi in the last year, but you don't have to like show up with a paddle, and I mean, you just do what they tell you to do. So that could probably be helpful, and we will
Yeah.
accept that offer.
Yeah, you can't just sit in the back and keep your head down, right?
Tell us something that you're grateful for these days in reference to what's going on well for you.
Oh, this is the easiest question to answer. A little over a year ago, I started having some pain in my neck and my shoulder. And I kept saying to James, I'm like, dang, I think I need new pillows, and I have a lot of them. And I was just like, for about a month, I kept complaining about my neck and felt like I needed new pillows, but I didn't get new pillows. And then in the summer, as a teacher, I have it off. And so I was at the pickleball court every day, almost every day. And I would play with that group in the morning, and then we might play with Sydney and Justin or our friends, our friend group at night. And so sometimes I was playing twice a day, and I'm like, ooh, I feel like it's agitated from too much pickleball. So I quit pickleball. And then I thought, it still wasn't working. And then I went and quit playing golf. And then I went to see a shoulder specialist. And after x-rays, he's just like, I'm going to put you in physical therapy. Nothing was changing. The x-rays weren't showing anything. So then I quit teaching spinning, which spinning is my baby. It's something I'm extremely passionate about and I love doing. Got recommended to a spine specialist. And it turns out none of those things that I was doing was going to fix it. I had 2 bulging discs that thankfully, after 6 months of chronic pain, where I really lost my personality, I really lost myself. And if you're with me on a daily basis, I'm the person that laughs constantly. I'm the person that smiles to everyone. And I lost all of that. And I felt sorry for my first graders in that whole first semester of school because I just wasn't myself because I was just in constant pain. And my surgeon scheduled me for 2 disc replacement on my spine 2 days after Christmas. And it was life-changing. And I woke up from that surgery and James is always afraid for me to come out of anesthesia because of what I might say. And it's true. A friend of ours who is he's a physical therapist. He was standing there, and his name is Thomas, but I like to call him Tommy just to make him mad. And then another really close friend of ours, I call him Baby Man. And
To make him
I
really
woke
mad.
up and I was like, Tommy. And then I looked at my other friend and I said, Baby Man. And James is just sitting there shaking his head like, oh no. And the pain was gone.
Ah,
Oh my
Immediate
gosh, I have
pain.
chills hearing
There's
this.
there's no physical therapy. There's the really just, they do the surgery is through the front, so it's on my neck. And so like your recovery is from, like how they place you in your surgery. You're braced down, you're opened up, and for about 6 weeks you were really stiff. And
Hmm.
sleeping was a struggle, but it was nothing about what had to do with my spine. He said I could play pickleball within 2 weeks. I didn't. I played pickleball within 3 weeks. I didn't play golf until the spring, and I was back teaching spinning in 5 weeks. I mean, I was back to myself.
Oh my gosh.
My surgeon said try to be, within 6 weeks to be walking, up to 2 miles a day. The very next morning, I walked 2 miles on the trail.
there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Oh my gosh.
gratitude it's just
Yeah.
like there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things that play with that. I have learned to really empathize with people with chronic pain because I had no idea what
Yes.
that was.
Yeah.
I'm in tears a lot just thinking about it and thinking about the desperation that people go through. And you sit there, I would just sit there and watch the clock for 9 o'clock every night because that's when I knew I could go to bed and take a sleeping pill and pass out and forget.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I wasn't functioning in the classroom. And I remember James and I were coming home from a wedding in Colorado, and we were at the airport, and I just start crying. He goes, "Oh no, are you crying about the dog?" Because we had to put our dog down during all of that.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I'm just so excited that I'm not hurting and I'm out and I'm traveling and I feel good. And it just comes to you. It just, I mean, even still,
Yeah.
what am I, 9 months in? It still comes to me where I'm just so full of gratitude in not being in pain and, getting my health back. And
Hmm.
so much appreciation for, not taking health for granted at all.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you continued to advocate for yourself and to take those next steps. I mean, thinking originally that you just needed new pillows and then but continuing to like dig into the situation.
I'm sure James was like, "How many more pillows are you going to get?"
I
I use a lot
mean,
of pillows too.
I even bought Tempur-Pedic pillows. Do you know how expensive those are?
Yeah.
And I'm really disappointed because I didn't love them and they're just sitting on a spare bed.
Okay, so the disc replacement, the discs that they replace it with, I'm assuming are like synthetic. They're made of plastic or something.
So there's more than one kind. I wish I would have known that you would have asked me that because I probably could ask somebody.
I'm just curious. I mean,
Titanium
if you think about how weird
titanium
it
is
is, that you just
there's
have these.
so little. I mean,
Are they
like
really?
you think about the beads like on the Taylor Swift bracelets.
Yeah.
They're even just a little bit smaller than that.
Seriously?
Yeah. And
Wow.
so it's up here in my it's in my neck.
Uh-huh.
My surgeon is rated in the top 2% in the United States. So I
That's
was
incredible.
there was no question when he said you're going to have surgery. There was no question. And on the way there, I wasn't having anxiousness. I wasn't nervous. I was full on ready.
That's an amazing feeling.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm so happy for you for where you're at right now.
Thanks.
Okay, Brenda, can you tell us about a time that you had a meaningful connection with nature?
So I love being out in nature. I've been out to the Tetons in Yellowstone now 7 times. I've been out there 6 times with our school district. Our school district takes middle schooler and high schoolers out, and the teachers get to chaperone. So I've been out there quite a bit. But
So fun.
this year, James had never been out, and Sydney and
Really?
Justin never. No,
Wow.
Sydney and Justin had been out there a couple of different times with their friends, and then with well, of course, Randy with
I
the
got to
cousin
go with
trip.
him.
I'm
Yeah.
really
The
upset
cousin
about
trip.
that. I wanted to go, but we spent a year planning that trip. And James had no James is our trip planner in our family. He does all the planning, but he had no say in it because he hadn't been, and we had all these things that we wanted to make sure that he saw and things that we wanted to redo. And we started in the Tetons in Yellowstone, and then we drove up to Glacier. And Glacier is a place that none of us had been, so that was brand new
Oh,
for all of
wow.
us. But the whole course of the week, we were disappointed because we weren't seeing any bears. And we only saw one bison at Yellowstone, and he was far off. He, she, don't know. And so we really didn't get any of them up close. And I was really disappointed in the bears. And so the whole trip, we were kind of griping on James and saying it's his fault. Like he is the deterrent of bears. And so the day before we left, our final day of hiking out in Glacier, we were on a trail and it veered off to the right, and then when you came back to like near the parking lot you could go on a different trail off to the left. And James is like, I don't think that we should do this one. And Cindy goes, we're doing it, let's go. And James has met his match with our daughter,
Oh
by the
my
way.
gosh.
And I don't think that James and I have never ever have we ever vacationed with an itinerary. That's not how we travel.
Yeah.
We get up and we decide what we're doing, and there's an itinerary. And I know that on your cousin trip, Randy, in the backseat, Allie and Emmy one day, they were like, what are we doing today? And she goes, I don't know. I don't want to ask. And
Yeah.
because Cindy would be like, it's on the Google Doc, right? You need to just get on the Google.
Just
It's
get on the
Google
Google Doc. It's on there.
So yes, we had a Google Doc for this trip, and on that Google Doc, we were doing this hike. So we were going down, and we got down to the bottom of the trail where the waterfall was, and we hiked along this gorgeous lake. This lake was huge, and I can't tell you the name of it, but it was beautiful. And we get down there, and this is going to be really odd, but there is a boat dock, and I'm thinking this is interesting because we're hiking. I'm out there for hiking, and this boat, this glacier boat with a guide, a park employee with a boat of people get out of this boat, and they walk down the dock, and they go less than a quarter of a mile to the waterfall. And I'm thinking, okay, I would, why aren't we hiking? This is a hiking trick. So I just had this weird, I didn't even say anything to the people that I was with. I didn't say anything, but I just thought, offended by this boat. In my mind, I'm offended by this boat because we're on a hiking trip. Okay. We're skipping rocks along this lake with this older couple, this gentleman. He was the sweetest, cutest man. I didn't give him a hug. I should have. He was skipping rocks. And so Justin was sitting there skipping rocks with him. And after a while, we part ways and we start to head back up towards our car. And you're walking along the lake. And of course, then there's the trail is along the water. And then if you look up into the grassy area, there's trees and there's, big rocks and wildflowers, And we're walking, and James goes, he stops. He goes, I hear something. And Cindy goes, I hear something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's probably another marmot. Because every time we stopped, it was a marmot. And yes, they're cute, but I was done with marmots. And Cindy goes, oh my gosh, that's a grizzly. And she goes, and she has a baby. And so we slowly turn around, and we're starting to go back down. And this mama grizzly and her baby were probably 30 yards away from us.
Oh.
And so we're not running,
gosh.
but we're hustling down the hill. And she's coming down the hill at an angle to get on the trail that we're walking down. And so she's going to meet up with us pretty quickly. And at the bottom of the hill, you see people starting to come up towards us. And I put my hands up. I'm like, go back, go back. There's a mom and her baby. Well, it turns out there's two babies. And guess who was one of the first people on that boat?
Watch out, I'm coming aboard.
I mean, everybody is running down that dock and getting on that boat because here comes a mama and her grizzlies. And Lexi, I'll send the picture of the cubs to you and the grizzly, and you can put it on your Instagram page because it's such a great picture. And so we're all on this boat. This is a chance of a lifetime to see this mom and her babies, and they get in the water, and she starts to try to climb up onto the dock from the side. So she can't because of the railings. And I'm like, ooh, we've made her mad. she's sitting in the water for a little bit. She gets out of the water. There's a fish hanging out of her mouth, and the babies follow her, and they are so cute. And she goes around the dock and she starts to walk down the shoreline the other direction where we were skipping rocks. One of the cubs was following mom down the shoreline on his hind legs walking, and it was so cute. And so the very last day we had our experience with the bears. And so we told James that he could stick with us, it's just like he had been redeemed. But we were driving back down the going to the Sun Road to head back towards our campground. And I don't know if you've ever been out to Glacier, but this is a over 40 miles of winding, slow going road. And, on the curves and the corners, they've got like these rock walls that would maybe go up maybe to like up to your window line of your car. And James goes, "Oh my gosh, there's a black bear." And this black bear had popped his head up behind the rock, and he turns his head both ways, and he pops back down, and then he pops back up. And it was just like, it almost looked like one of those animated bears like at Six Flags that you would see. And I'm like, slow down, because I got to get a picture of it. But, there were too many cars, and he didn't want to cause a problem with, traffic. And so I didn't get a video. But we saw four bears.
So
No,
funny.
yeah, four bears that day. Yeah.
Oh, that's the perfect end.
Pretty cool.
I've not made it to Glacier, but it is one of my major bucket locations.
So, Brenda, it seems like we could kind of roll into our next question, which is a topic you could talk about for hours. And I'm assuming it's traveling.
It is traveling. Yeah. Well, here's why. We get spring break, so you have to travel in spring break. We get summer break, so you have to travel during summer break. And you get Christmas break, so you have to travel on Christmas break. So we do a lot of traveling. And, it's one of those things where, like if you think about our grandpa Paul, who retired, and shortly after that, he had a massive heart attack and died, and did not get to enjoy all of his years, past working. He didn't get to enjoy that time. And our stepmom, just she died at a young age, and we thought that she was going to have all these years to enjoy retirement, and that is not what we're waiting on. James and I have the mindset we're going to live now, and we're going to enjoy ourselves now, and so that's what we do. We travel in a very unique way, and this gives some people anxiety.
This is what I was hoping that you would describe. They told me about it, and I was a little flabbergasted, I have to say.
And I find it a little bit amusing. Like my principal, he gets so much anxiety when, in January, he'll be like, "Hey, where are you guys going for spring break? Is it the week before spring break?" He's like, "No, you don't have anything planned yet." And I'm like, "Not yet." So
I love that.
I wish that you guys could see Lexi's face right now, because her eyes are so wide.
I just imagine not having a plan.
I will say this. We didn't always travel this way. But like I said earlier, our kids are adults. They're grown. They don't live with us. And we have a timetable. I have spring break, I have summer break, and I have Christmas. And so James, I should get paid for this plug that I'm about to give. If you go on to Google Flights and you just pull up the world map, and you pull up a time frame and you watch, especially on Tuesdays is usually the day that the flights are cheaper. He'll see where flights are kind of like something that we would entertain spending. He was like, "Okay, well, this is where we're going." We have set flights anywhere from the day before to a couple of weeks out for major trips. Like we booked our flights for Rome a week and a half before we left.
Wow.
When we went to Rome a couple of years ago, we booked our flights a week and a half out. And then we were there for 8 days, and we did set our hotel. He got that maybe within a week of us leaving. He gets on TripAdvisor, and he looks for a lot of reviews on what people say. We listen to the people, and it's on TripAdvisor. And like, where's the best place to stay centrally? And then that's where we'll look. And then we only ever select places, typically on Hotwire, that's a 95% or greater review. So that's how we travel. And I mean, we aren't looking for these high-end places, could care less. We're there to sleep. But what we want is the really good reviews. A lot of times we'll just sit in bed the night before and we'll look online and we'll decide what we want to do the next day. and we'll book our tickets. And we've always been very fortunate. We've had a couple of minor glitches in a couple of trips, but it works for us. And it's just kind of like, all right, let's just gonna see what happens. A couple of years ago, we went to Cabo, and he came home from work on a Friday. I think he booked those flights on like Wednesday, and he came home from work on Friday, and we were flying out at like 10 a.m. that morning on Saturday. And he's like, let's go to the pool. And I'm like, no, we got to get our hotel. He goes, we'll do that after the pool. So we did not get our lodging until the morning that we flew to Cabo, and we had the best resort. I mean, we spent more time there than we did anywhere in Cabo. For us, it's just it works for us. It's just kind of fun.
I like it.
Yeah. It's not for everyone. It's, and someday it might turn around and bite us in the butt, but
It'll
it's
just
fine.
be another story. Oh,
We've
when
always
this
made it
happened?
home.
Yeah.
That's the
Safely.
important part.
We've always made it home.
Brenda, tell us about some of your favorite movies, or if you have like an all-time favorite movie quote.
I have an all-time favorite movie, and the quote is in it. And Randy, you might appreciate this. Lexi, I don't know if you've watched this or not. Shawshank Redemption is my absolute favorite movie.
Is it really?
Ever.
I
Yes.
still watch it quite frequently.
Quite often.
Yeah.
Can you guess my quote? Can you guess my
Ooh.
quote?
I'm at loss because it is just a great movie. But what is it?
Get busy living
Or get busy dying.
or get busy dying. Yep.
Yep. What a great quote. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
really good.
And we've used that. We've used that in our marriage. Several years ago, James worked for a company where it was very beneficial to transfer to other areas in the country. And so we would do that because when our kids were little and they weren't in school, it was like, oh, this is easy. It was financially beneficial because they would buy your house, they would move you, packers would come, they would pay for all of that, and you also got a moving bonus. When we got down here to where we live, we thought we were only going to be here for 2 years, maybe 3. And then we would go back to headquarters. And we loved it here. And this became our home. After 5 years, they said, get your promotion papers and get back. I went kicking and screaming. We went back to headquarters, and we both were pretty sad. James loved his job. Like he loved the position that he had, but we just wanted to come back here. And this is not where we were raised, but this is where we wanted to raise our kids. We would quite often talk about get busy living or get busy dying. So we made the decision that he was going to leave a very good company with good income, great benefits, and we left. And we came down here. He took a very big cut in pay. One of the things that I sometimes get emotional about is if we hadn't come back here, I wouldn't be a teacher because that wasn't the plan or the track that I was on when we lived over in Illinois. And when we came back here, I got hired as an aide in a self-contained classroom with kids with autism, and it shaped me to be the educator that I am. I did that for 3 years, and I just absolutely loved it. And I loved it so much that I went back to school and got my degree. But James and I, full circle, James and I, we would use that quote a lot, get busy living or get busy dying, because that was a very big risk that we took coming back and taking such a big cut in pay. And it's always been worth it for us. So anyway,
Wow.
Favorite movie, favorite quote.
Great story.
Gibby, is there a movie that you quote sometimes?
Oh, I can answer. I can
What?
answer that. You guys can't see me, but I'm raising my hand like I'm in a classroom. Well, I am in a classroom.
She teaches
but
first
I'm raising
grade.
my hand because
That's
I
good
want you to
modeling.
call on me.
Brenda,
I know his favorite movie.
go ahead.
It's The Breakfast Club. Is it not?
It used to be when I was younger. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even say I
okay.
have a favorite. But
It's
what
the
was
Twilight
quote?
series now, Brenda.
Oh my gosh, the 20s. I don't know. I even say this every now and then from the Breakfast Club. Remember when he was in the hallway and he was going by he was getting a drink of water and he stood up and he was like, Hugga Dugga. I never understood why he said that, Hugga Dugga. But I say that every now and then out loud at work, and I'm sure everybody's like, "What the heck?" Because
Does anybody know that's where
I
that's
have
from?
no idea. I don't know.
That is
But
so funny. That
it's
quote
kind of
is
random.
almost as inspirational as Brenda's quote.
No, maybe.
Okay, so Lexi, I got to know what yours is.
There's probably a few different things that I say, but the one that came up off the top of my head was from Apollo 13, also with Tom Hanks. When have you seen that movie?
Yep.
So it's when they're in the simulator and they fail their simulator mission, and then one of the guys is like, "We got to get back in there. We got to try this again." And they're like, "All right." So they go in, they do it again, and they whatever they're trying to accomplish, they do, and it's like super intense. They get out and they're so proud that they were able to do it. And Tom says, "And that is how we do that." And I say that a lot if we accomplish something that's pretty tricky. That is how we do it.
think-
how we do that.
I think I'm going to use that here in first grade tomorrow.
It's good, isn't it? It feels really
that
good.
is
I
how
use
we
it with
do
my
that.
kids. If I can get my kids dressed and in the car ready for school on time, I look at them in the back seat and I'm like, and that is how we do that.
I'm going to write that down.
You should try to use Haagen-Dazs in your classroom too.
Throw that one in.
They probably would accept that one before the other one.
They'll
won't
probably
blink an
just
eye.
like, what? Probably just look at you like, what was that? No, it's just
Did she sneeze?
yeah. Did she sneeze?
Brenda, let's think about this. Tell us about, if you can just think of just one, and it doesn't have to be the most, but just think of one embarrassing moment that you would like to share with the listeners.
Can I give you two?
Yeah.
Two's better than one.
I mean, I got a list of them. I am somebody that can laugh at myself all the time. But before we got on, I showed you my Beaster picture, right?
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
the wall. Okay. James and I were in Italy last summer, and we were in Florence, and we were doing an excursion of these 1950s, 1960s Fiats with the manual transmission, these little tiny cars. I should send you that picture too, Lexi.
Yeah.
We met at our meeting spot. There was probably a group of 60, 70 of us that were going to go out.
Wow.
And you get out to this garage on the hills. It's beautiful out here. And
sounds amazing.
we're gonna be in these cars. It was incredible. And the driver was gonna spend about a half hour with the guide proving that he could drive this manual car. Well, James has a Jeep that's a manual, so we both know how to drive it, but I said, you get to be the driver. The rest of us were just kind of hanging out. Well, in this warehouse, there were all of these Vespas or scooters.
Scooter.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of in this group. And I didn't realize that not everybody was there for the Fiat trip. And he said, "All right, everybody, get your helmets." And so I'm over there with everybody trying on these helmets. And James keeps looking at me. He's across we're in this like warehouse with all of these cars and all of these Vespas, and he's mouthing, "What are you doing?" And I'm looking at him with this helmet on my head, and I'm like, "What?" You know, because they told us to put them on.
Sad.
And what am I? I'm a rule follower. If anything, I follow rules and I do what I'm told. And they said, "Put your helmet." And, so
And they said it to everybody.
and then they're all getting their helmets on, and then I see them all start getting on their Vespas, and I'm like, "What the heck's happening?" And that's when I realized I wasn't part of that group. And there were 2 excursions, but we all rode together. So some people were doing Vespas with helmets on, and the others were in the Fiats. So I did the walk of shame. I hung up my helmet, and I walked back to James, and he just puts his head down and he's shaking his head. Like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "They said to get your helmets." So that's one of my most embarrassing moments. And then I could do this one all day long, but I'll do a first grade moment. First graders are honest, and they're going to say what they're thinking. And
Yeah.
I'm up here teaching one morning, and one of my students goes, "Miss Haven." And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Are you tired?" I'm like, "What do you mean, am I tired?" "No, I'm not tired." And she goes, "Well, your eyes, they're dark." And the girl next to her goes, Those are called bags, Jane. And I go, what? I say that a lot in my classroom. What the heck comes out of my mouth all the time? And I said, I went to the gym this morning. Like, I'm not tired. I feel great. And I still hear it all the time. They're called bags, Jane.
They're bags.
Anyway, I mean, first graders,
Oh my gosh, that's ruthless.
they're cute, but they're little turds all in the same, all
Yeah.
at the same time. But anyway.
So those are two great stories. Very different. The Vespa story kind of reminds me a little bit of a time when I went night diving in Belize. It was a shallow dive, so we were only diving 30 feet in this coral reef. But there's multiple groups out. And they said to us before we started going that it's really easy to wander off with another group because of just like what's going on with everything around you. You guys all look the same in the dark. So we're in a single file line, and you need to follow the fins of the person in front of you and stay looking at that person. Because if you look around too much, I mean, obviously we're looking around, you might be like, oh, who's my person? There they are, and go off. And we were like, does that really happen? I mean, that seems kind of silly. Like, two different groups. The night dive was one of the most amazing things I've ever done. I got to see sleeping sea turtles and stingrays, just everything at night, just taking their rest. And we also got to help some giant grouper fish find their meals because of our flashlights, which is a little traumatic, like if we're pointing at a fish. Anyway, I didn't like that as much. But I was following the person in front of me. Of course, I'm also a rule follower, so I'm like eyes glued on those fins. I'm not getting lost here in the coral reef. The girl in front of me starts turning.
Uh-oh.
Because she started going off with another group. The two of us, we were the last two, figured it out quickly and went off back to our group. But I was amazed about just how quickly you can get disoriented where, there's all these lights everywhere and just people doing all these things in the reef. And apparently you can do that in the daytime, too, when they tell you to put a helmet on when you're supposed to be in a Fiat.
It would have been fine to wear it for protection in a car. It's fine.
Yeah, that's normal. I personally think you should have just gone and got your Vespa and just started.
You should have got your vest on.
Just go with it at that point. You've gotten pretty far.
I tell you, that was one of the coolest excursions we've been on. It was so cool.
It sounds amazing. Yeah, I need some pictures from that too.
Yeah.
Tell us one message you would like to share with the world. What would it be?
That one's easy. You just got to be kind. And I've been kind of, silly in this, but this is something that we should take seriously, especially in the world that we're living in right now. It is not hard to be kind. And, like when I think about in a school building every day, we have people that come into our building to help us out. Substitutes, substitute custodians, substitute cafeteria helpers. It takes nothing but a quick moment to say hi. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here, because we know what it's like when we're short-staffed, right, Lex? It just doesn't take any effort to be kind to people. It's easy. It's easy to be kind to people. So I have another one too. I have a motto when I come to school every day, and I've had it the whole time that I've been an adult worker. If you can't have fun, don't come. Right? If you can't have fun, don't come.
Don't come.
I'll even do cartwheels in my classroom if I need to, right? So,
I love that.
So that's my motto. My motto. I go through life. If you can't have fun, don't come. So.
Well, that's kind of really similar to if you're not, what's the Shawshank quote?
Get busy living or get busy dying.
Kind of the same sentiment.
Yeah.
Like, just, this is your shot here. Make it what you wanted to make it. I think those are great messages. Well, Brenda, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast today and bringing such positivity and light and laughs, which you said that
We've
you're
had
really
some
good at.
laughs, sister.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. I'm excited. I'm glad I did it.
Me too. Not very nerve-wracking, right?
It's the lead-in.
The anticipation.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time. We just appreciate you, and we will talk soon.
Love you, sis.
Love you guys too.
Bye.
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 Well, sis was a hoot.
That was such a lovely time with Brenda.
Yes. She is full of life.
I got to say, I loved every single one of her answers. Some were thought provoking, and some were silly, and some were both. But we just got to have such a great time laughing, often at her expense, like she said, which is awesome.
Yeah, and knowing her, yeah, I can see her over there in line putting helmets on. And I
My
can see
favorite part
James.
that's my favorite part of the entire thing
Like-
is James over there saying, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So, what did you learn about Brenda?
You know, there was no surprises because she is an open book. I love her last question, and the answer to that is, why can't we just be kind? And that's my sister in a nutshell.
I love that she brought up how much she loves to teach reading. I think that's so cool because reading is not that easy to teach.
I imagine not.
And she's been doing it for 14 years and loves it and wants to keep doing it. I mean, what a gem. Well, that was another episode of Porch Swing People. Check us out on Instagram and Spotify.
Yes, and there's an email.
There's an email.
Porch Swing People out.
Porch Swing People is recorded and produced by Lex and Gibby. Opening music was written and produced by Michael Gibson. Porch Swing People is a podcast featuring everyday people. If interested in being a guest, email us at porchswingpeeps@gmail.com.